Tyson, you seem like a very nice guy, and I've enjoyed this conversation, but frankly, you're scaring me a little bit.
This is me happy. I love punching people in the face. Don't upset me. Don't upset me.
What up, Fightful fam? Shakiel Mahjouri here with one hell of a fighter, but arguably an even better Manscaped promoter. Tyson Nam, one of the best Manscaped related Instagram profiles I've ever seen. How are you, sir?
I'm awesome. I'm doing good.
You are truly earning that sponsorship money because I've seen some Manscaped's everywhere. I mean, it's on the Octagon for God's sakes, but the way you've integrated it into like your everyday life is quite fascinating. Is the ball trimmer as good as everyone says?
It actually is. I I actually started manscaping when I was back in high school using
Uh-huh.
one of those hair clippers. Never good. There's always a
Danger.
cord. It's always too heavy, and you can't get down and precise like how Manscaped will get down to. It's cordless. It's nice and um so that you can get to those places that the sun don't shine.
Yeah, well, it's like truly invaded the mainstream when like I hear celebrities just talking about it randomly. Like maybe they're getting some money under the table, but it's just kind of like entered the everyday vernacular. But Manscaped ain't paying me, so that's all the time they're gonna get out of me today. And there's something that feels even better than Manscaped, I'm sure, and that is your incredible, quick knockout win against Zaruk Adashev in your last fight. Like, how good did it feel? You seem so ecstatic when you're talking to Paul Felder after the fight, but like, how big was that win for you?
It was so big. It definitely wasn't the biggest win to my career,
Mm-hmm.
but it was definitely the most satisfying because I finally got to do it in the UFC.
For
You know,
sure.
UFC is the Super Bowl of MMA, the number one promotion in the world. So it felt good to have finally have the United States eyes on top of me and seeing what I do overseas in Brazil and out in Russia where I have been doing it against UFC caliber fighters. Just never in the UFC
For sure. Well, I
until
mean, let's be honest. Like, you did not get an easy introduction into the promotion. Sergio Pettis and then Kai Kara France. Like, for you, where was your psyche at following those two losses? Like, where were you at mentally going into this most recent fight?
I felt even after my second fight against Kai Kara France, I was like, damn, two losses in a row. That means I'm up for a pink slip. So shit. If they give me another fight, I would be ever so grateful, which they actually did. And when I got my third fight, I was like, man, I really gotta do something big. And when the pandemic came and we could only train so much, but at the same time, I was never ever really able to train full time. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually felt even better training during these hardship times than I did before when we had the accessibility to our gyms, our training partner, just everything open. So I guess it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, well, that's a take I haven't heard too much from. I appreciate that it's working out for you. Let's talk a little bit about this fight coming up. You take on Matt Schnell at UFC Vegas 10, I think it is. I'm starting to get lost with all these UFCs in Vegas.
Yeah, me,
Yeah,
me neither.
I know. Well, they don't even like officially announce it until like a few days out, so I'm always just like counting through the events trying to tally them up. But anyways, that's on September 12th. You're fighting Matt Schnell. When you sort of analyze him and yourself, what do you think is the biggest advantage each of you brings into this fight?
We're both finishers. We bring a fast pace, a crowd pleasing style to where we're gonna punch, we're gonna kick, we're gonna scramble around. It's gonna be a very fast pace. We're looking to finish this off in the first round, make it a early night for both of us. So don't blink, don't blink.
You seem to have the same enthusiasm for getting into a fist fight as my girlfriend does for going to Disneyland.
You know it's something that always intrigued me ever since I was little. I used to
Really?
love watching blood sport, kickboxer, you know, Rocky. I mean, there's something about fighting that, and I feel like almost every human being, there's some sort of animalistic that's deep down rooted inside of us, that when we see someone get punched in the face, we're like, boo, you know, it's kind of exciting.
Do you ever, like, what are the conversations? I feel like this always happens. Like, you talk to a friend, you talk to a coworker, anyone, and they're like, oh, if I was in a fight, I'd kill it. I got a vicious side. I got a mean streak that no one knows about. Like, I train a little bit, but just from, and I never am under the mindset or the impression that I can take anyone on, especially when I talk to like fighters like yourself. I've sparred with a couple fighters like Sarah Morris, who's in the women's division, and she beat the living crap out of me. So I understand how out of my depth I truly am. For you, when you hear someone who doesn't train any martial arts kind of talk about, oh yeah, I'd kill it in a fight. Like, do you roll your eyes? Do you laugh? How do you digest that information?
I laugh at it. I joke around with it, and then, you know, maybe I'll show them a video of what I actually do to people, and they're kind of like, "Ooh, maybe that's a different level." And you know, I fight at flyweight, which is 125 pounds.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't walk around at 125. So even people that are bigger than me, I grab onto them like, "Well, you're kind of strong, and you only fight at what 125," which I probably weighed back in like intermediate. Like, yeah, I would fuck you up. I'm only a flyweight. So
Relax. You cut off for a moment, but for those who missed it, relax. I just want to touch on something you said about getting into the sport. When you first had your like first taste of like real combat, how did it live up to your expectations, like loving martial arts as a kid? Because I feel like that's one of those moments where it's like a reality check. You either realize, you know, this isn't for me, or it just really doubles down on what you're passionate about.
Well, I grew up playing sports, you know, basketball, baseball, football, all of that sort. So, and even judo when I was growing up. So competition was always in my heart. I always loved competition, especially when it came to like the one-on-one type of competition, because it doesn't get any finer than that. It's just you, another opponent, and we'll see who's better. It was a pretty smooth transition when I tried when I first started off trying to like box and kickbox. Just because, you know, it's still the same thing. It's still another person that stands across the ring from you, and gonna find out that night who's better. But all in all, yeah, I mean, I love competition. I think mixed martial arts is or combative sports, any combative sports is competition at its finest, one-on-one, man-to-man, or woman-to-woman, hand-to-hand. And I love it. I love it.
Last thing before I let you go, Tyson, and this is something I do like to ask fighters from time to time. What, for you, do you want to most accomplish when you step into the octagon? Like, I know there are some people who love the quick knockout, or they want to go in there and put on a fight of the night for the fans. And then there are the guys who love having a 15-minute exchange because it really gives them a chance to gain that octagon experience. For you, what is like the best possible outcome in a fight?
I love knocking people out. You know, more than half of my wins comes from actually knockouts at this lightweight division. But I mean, it's never a surprise what I want to do. I might be small, but I'm trying to take your head off. I'm trying to put you to sleep. I'm trying to make the people in the stands, out wherever you guys are watching TV, start screaming their head because something amazing just happened.
Tyson, you seem like a very nice guy, and I've enjoyed this conversation, but frankly, you're scaring me a little bit.
You know, this is me happy. I love punching people in the face. Don't upset me.
100%. Tyson Nam, I want to thank you so much for making the time today. You fight Matt Schnell at UFC Vegas 10 on Saturday, September 12th. Best of luck, and I hope to catch you on the flip side.
Thanks a lot, Jack.